Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal R&D program, where we actually have a stable plane for right now. Now, if I try to get this thing off the ground, it's almost certainly not going to work. So of course, that's exactly what I'm going to do. SAS on, let's go. Feels like we're at a slight angle here. I'm going to try to correct that. Wow, this thing accelerates. And has no lift. None at all. Oh boy. This is kind of dangerous, guys. We're airborne. Oh, nope. Okay. So, we got airborne. Only because we ran out of runway. Back to the spaceplane hangar. That was very amusing, though. So, we know a few things. One, these engines are more than powerful enough. Like, we could probably thrust limit them down to like 2/3. And they'd still be more than powerful enough. Secondly, I would like to have some struts in here. Specifically, a strut connecting from here to our main fuselage. Not because it looks good, because it doesn't, but because these were wobbling around a little bit. Now, we definitely did not have enough pitch authority. There's no doubt about that. Or really enough anything authority. Our center of mass is here. Our aerodynamic center is here. So, I mean, we could try to lower our wings, but so much of our weight is in our wings that in order to have the center of mass be equivalent here, it would need to be like that. What's our burn time on this? Huge. Our burn time is absolutely huge. So what I'm thinking right now is maybe we should just cut the amount of fuel in this fuselage, like, in half. And then we can use the move tool to place it, like, here. But I can't remember if you want your aerodynamic center to be in front or behind of your mass center. So I'm going to look it up. KSP space plane. This is going to be center of lift. Where do we want our center of lift to be? Because I cannot remember. The center of lift needs to be... We want it to be behind the center of mass. Okay. So with that in mind, what we can do is we can grab this with our move tool right here, and I'm going to move our engines forward a little bit to be about there, and then we're going to grab our wings, move them up. See, we don't really want them to be out here in terms of we want it to be directly in line with the center of mass. So down here is a little low. This is pretty much exactly where we want it to be, except we now want the wings, or rather the center of lift, to be behind the center of mass, according to what I'm reading here, correct? Correct. Okay. So, then we would need it to look something like this. Now, of course, there are some fundamental issues here. Fundamental issues indeed. But I have a dumb idea. And I like dumb ideas. We're going to take these here, and we are going to put in a modular girder segment on each wing. Actually, no, cubic octagonal. Modular girder is too big. And we are just going to drop this down like so. This is purely for testing purposes. I'm likely to come up with something less dumb later on. Then again, knowing me, maybe I won't. And then we'll use the rotate tool to rotate this to be correct. There's a fundamental issue here. Okay, so we don't need it to be this low. So I'm going to use the place tool. I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to remove 2 of these cubic octagonal struts. That's a little bit better. I think I'll remove 1 more. Yeah, that'll do. I mean, this is a really dumb idea. We are going to be ditching these when we leave the atmosphere, so there is that. But also, we're going to need to bring down our front landing gear. Like so. And then rotate it like that. We don't want symmetry on. Question is, how far down do we need to bring it? Well, let's go ahead and snap this into place. There we go. And then we need to bring this down at least 1 more octagonal strut. So we're going to grab this, duplicate this, rotate it in. How's that looking height-wise? I think we need a little more. Again, this is a dumb idea, but yeah. This is just awful. I love it. Let's go. This is perhaps the worst monstrosity I've ever made. But once we get this actually functional, to the point where we can fly it around and maybe get out of the atmosphere a little bit, then we can think about doing other things with it. Okay, so SAS on, and let's go. I'm going to go ahead and try to correct our trajectory a little bit here to be a little more straight. This is still really, really fast. Hey! Now it's trying to drift upward, and we can't really stop it, because we don't have much for pitch authority. But this is a step in the right direction. We have roll authority. Do we have yaw authority? We do have yaw authority. This isn't bad. So the idea here is that we use these engines to get to altitude. Now, obviously, we can't go too far with them, although we could unthrust limit them at this point, potentially. Did that not do it for both? It didn't. Okay, there we go. But yeah, the main issue right now, as I revert that back again, is that we have no pitch authority whatsoever. So let's take a look in our aerodynamics here. We've got elevons here, propeller blades and helicopter blades. It's not really what we're looking for. I'm actually surprised that this thing generates enough lift, if I'm honest. Like, I'm very surprised by this. Now, this has 852 meters per second at sea level, correct? Let's try with this fully loaded, with the fuel here fully loaded, and the thrust at max. And then I want to make sure that we are in vacuum. Oh, that's plenty of delta V. Is it plenty to get anywhere we want to from Minmus, though? That's the question. What if we didn't ditch these, and we instead had a fuel line running like this? Hypothetically. Yeah, it doesn't already run in. Okay. I'll have to think about what I want to do with that. Like, maybe we want to have a little more fuel in this stage or something like that. But for now, what I'm mostly interested in doing is getting us some pitch authority. So let's think about how we want to do that. Well, obviously, getting some flaps would be nice. So I'm gonna put a flap there and a flap there. I don't know what these are actually called. I'm just making it up. Space planes are not my area of expertise. In fact, what is my area of... Do I have an area of expertise? I kind of don't. Anyway, that should give us some level of pitch authority. So let's try this with the plane fully loaded with fuel and the engines at max, and we'll see if we get any lift whatsoever. And with pitch authority, we should be able to actually lift off. And I think we've conclusively proven that the hydraulics were what was causing the drift. So this thing is going to have no hydraulics. That's okay. The tanker has hydraulics, and the tanker will be able to raise to the level we need. Okay. This is much slower acceleration. We do certainly seem to have pitch authority. I hope, anyway. Maybe? I was hoping we'd have taken off by now. Oh. I think we're just too heavy. Like, we've got the roller. But I'm pretty sure we're just too heavy to take off with this amount of lift. So the question becomes, do we just go back to half-tank liquid fuel engines? I think we do. And we'll see if that works. And then, at that point, we need to try to get this thing into orbit. And the question is, what exactly is the efficiency of the nuclear engine in the upper atmosphere? And I don't know that off the top of my head. We'll have to look at that after we revert this. Like, this isn't helpful. Our thrust to weight of this stage is 0.13, so that's something, I guess. Okay, SAS on. And let's go for liftoff. Just trying to watch to see if the wheels come off the ground at all. So far, they do not. And we're going off the runway. Okay, it seems like we just don't have enough pitch authority, or am I backwards? Hang on, let me think about this. No. That's right. We just don't have the pitch authority? Let's take a quick look at the rotation of these things. Okay. What if we were also to put them on the front? Oh, this is kind of a terrible idea as well. But this is the point of Kerbal R&D program. Yes, definitely not designed for that. Because let's see here. They go down, which would catch the wind going that way. And then up would push it down. Yeah, they're the correct direction, so that's not the issue. Did we... Oh, did we adjust the center of mass to aerodynamic too much? The center of mass is now slightly higher. Whereas if we did this, that makes it even higher. Which is almost certainly the problem. I think. So let's go ahead and move this guy up a bit. That raises the center of lift without raising the center of mass. So we would need to be hypothetically even lower. If we were going to run this with full fuel, we would need it to be basically here. Maybe we should store these engines above the wings? I don't know. I'll have to think about it. It is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, maybe I'll come back with a plan. Or maybe not. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you all next time.